I want to start the interview, Dave, of course, with the sad news that came out yesterday of the former chairman, the long-serving chairman, John Ball, of course, the man who gave you your first managerial post. Your tribute.
Yeah, well, he was a terrific man. I think everyone who met him, he was kind, he was funny, extremely intelligent, a gentleman. You know, it's everything you'd want from your boss, from friend, colleague. He was just a lovely guy, really lovely guy.
There's no doubt about it as well. There's a lot of talk in the modern day game that owners or chairmen don't know too much about football at some places. He did, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he was as sharp as a tack, John. He was as sharp as anything, and he knew a hell of a lot. You know, certainly about football. Never mind, you know, the chemist industry that he was in before, the R&D that he was in there. You know, he was. You couldn't particularly teach him anything new. It might be a new version of something that he'd seen before, but he knew how to run a football club. He knew how to grow a football club. This football club, as in, we'll be forever indebted to, you know, to obviously Norman Rollinson and Dario, but also John. He's built this football club to where it is today, and the fans, I'm sure, will be forever grateful for his contribution.
Well, your football club and everything else has to carry on in life. We know that. You're getting ready for your next game, of course. You got more out of your players. That big disappointment was in their penalty area and around it. You didn't get enough going. What can you do there? What can just change that, you know, into real positive? It's interesting. Like last night, Liverpool had two shots on target, both goals. That's, I suppose, you had two efforts that didn't hit the target.
Yeah, well, we're not kidding ourselves on. We've got to be better. We know that. It's extremely difficult when you go to a place like Wigan. You know, when we went to Gillingham, we dominated the game for large parts. So we know that we've got to always take into account the opposition. But then at the same time, it's just about us. It's about us developing as a team and getting better each game, irrespective of the opposition. Like I say, I thought our performance on Tuesday night was far better than the previous 1.5 games, really. We was fine in the first half against Plymouth. You know, and then we let ourselves down for a game and a half. So, you know, we've got to continue to get better every game. Is it going to be? Are we going to be as good as Liverpool overnight? We're not. We all know that. But you can rest assured that every member of staff, you know, staff and players, are striving to be better, and that's all we can ask at the minute. You know, we're not trying to be greedy. We are working on various different things, and we are seeing, you know, green shoots of promise. And that's where we're at. You know, I could tell you the reasons why, but you know, I'm sure there's fans would think that I'm just sat here making excuses, or I don't know, whatever. It's not irrelevant, but it's certainly not worth me talking about them. We've got to make sure we get on with it, and keep striving to be better. And you can see that we are getting better. I couldn't seem to let ourselves down in one specific area of the pitch, set pieces. It was ridiculous. You know, the rest of it was not much of a muchness. It's no consolation when you concede 4. You know, we're not stupid. So we've got to make sure that all the bits, all the elements of a game of football are better.
I suppose you can fully understand all your offensive players, whether they're out of the midfield, the attacking side, or all the defenders who go up for set plays. When goals are hard to come by, I suppose they could go in the shell a little bit, but you know, you've got to try and, if you've seen any of that, stamp it out and get them feeling positive and confident it will return. Yeah,
I think you saw on Tuesday night that we weren't particularly outplayed at any stage. The last 10 minutes, the game got away from us. You know, we ended up going throwing caution to the wind and abandoning what had kept us in the game. kept it at 0-0. That's not a negative. When I say kept us in the game, we were still trying to score goals at that point, because I'm sure people infer, kept us in the game is a negative outlook. It's you make sure you don't concede before you try and score a goal. That's always been the case, irrespective of division or team. It probably just gets highlighted more now because we're not doing as well going the other way. So we've got to make sure that our platform, our basis remains like it was on Tuesday night for large parts, and then develop from there, because that gives us a foundation. Like I said after the game, I thought our players were good for 80%, 90% of the game. But there was 2 or 3 instances where a bit of quality and a bit of difference tells, and the second goal doesn't happen in 6 months' time when Conor Reardon out-muscles Stephen Humphries and Tariq out-muscles Callum Lang, rather than just both of them booting it in the air. That's where they are in their development. We have to accept that. It's frustrating, but neither of them got told. Why? Because their physicality will come by playing games and by developing in the gym. So we know that elements like that at the minute are disappointing and extremely frustrating for everyone. But at the same time, we also know that will develop over the coming weeks and months to stop them goals. And there's a few other bits in terms of forward play, lots of other bits in terms of forward play that are also developing. And we've got to continue to work at all that, so it does all fall into place, a bit like it did when we played Lincoln and the Cowleys. That Boxing Day, whenever it was, 2 or 3 years ago, there's a process to go through. There's no magic wand. We're having a tough time at the minute, we all know that. But we are continue to develop players, and that's what we've got to do, and that makes the team better. That's where we're at, and it's difficult, and I appreciate it's difficult for everyone, staff, players, fans. I get that. But that's the truth, that's where we're at.
I think there's 14 games to go, 8 of those are at home. One big thing that could help you is get a real good home end of season. 8 games, 24 points there. I know it's a tall order, but you've got to get them at home because you've found it very hard away from home.
Yeah. Our home form is crucial. I think everyone's home form, Portsmouth. Portsmouth home form's miles better than their away form. We're not the only team in the league that's like that. So we've got to make sure that whoever comes, whether it be Charlton, Lincoln, Rotherham, doesn't really matter. We've got to make sure we give a good account of ourselves and try and win the game.
Just on one injured player who went out on Tuesday night, how is he, Ryan Alabusa? What's the state with that?
He had a back spasm. He landed on it and then tried to carry on, and it was stiffening up. And I've had a back spasm once, and they're not very nice, but they do ease off. They tend to ease off fairly quickly, so we're hopeful.
Is that a bit of a time out he has to take? Or does he have a chance on the weekend?
He's got a chance. Yeah.
So you mentioned Portsmouth. They haven't gone where they would have liked to have been, but they are a side, as you mentioned, very hard to beat away from home in terms of conceding goals. So you've got to have some plan that you want to implement to get the best of what they've got a very tight defensive record.
Yeah, I think obviously the Cowleys have gone in there. They're transitioning their team and bringing their style in. They've had a few changes and they're just doing it at a different level, and they're trying to implement their way. And I think they'll be the first to admit that it's maybe not gone truly according to plan, but they've still got a great chance of having a successful season. But regardless of whichever players are chosen, because they've got a big enough squad to choose 2 teams, we've got to make sure that we've got the answers. And like I say, it's about us. It's about us improving. It's about us getting better every game on game. And if we do that, then that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, as you're well aware, the modern day game is unfortunate, but it happens. They're entitled to that opinion. It's been frustrating for the supporters on the travels, but you've got to hope that your players can give them something that they can be right behind you and they can go away with a better feeling, because it's down to your players to make them feel better.
Of course it is. It's down to us all. And like I said, we are working extremely hard, as you would imagine, to try and get a result for the fans. We're certainly not doing it on purpose. We are, and I think we saw that on Tuesday night. I thought we were good. We were hard to beat. I'm not saying too much because we've still got willing to play again, but there was certain elements of the game where we went, we were very good there, and we've got to capitalise on that more, and then just make sure we don't make the one or two silly mistakes that cost us the game in the end. And if you do that, then you've got a chance against anyone. We saw that against Charlton a few games ago. Charlton are an excellent team. And so Portsmouth, and we've got to make sure that we perform well again and get a result in front of the fans.
As we finally bring it to the end, they're all human beings, yourself, your staff, your players. You don't like to hear that fans' frustrations being vented into your setup. But of course, what you've got to do is, as I say, get after it and do the job themselves. And if they can do that, who knows where it'll take them.
Yeah, look, I understand the fans' frustration, and like I said, if they're going to have a go at anyone, have a go at me. Don't have a go at the players. I'll take all the flack. Not because I'm trying to, I don't know what the word is, but I'm not trying to belittle it or I don't know what. I'm not trying to say that it's not warranted. I can understand the frustrations. I'm frustrated. We're all frustrated. Does it help? No, it doesn't. Is it going to get anywhere? Don't think so. Not because we're trying. We work hard every day. So I can look myself in the mirror and say, I'm trying to do the best I can do, and I know the players are. The players are trying their best every day. They come off the pitch, shattered on Tuesday night. I've had a few managers who have said, I bet you can sleep easy because they give you everything, and they do. And anyone who says different is lying. It's as simple as that. So look, whatever they're giving everything, and we're all pulling in the same direction, we'll get somewhere, and we will, and because we've done it before. We built a team before, and we're building a team again.